In a world full of stories, people have different stories to tell. And in today's story, we have Mr. Joe Ogolla, who is a public speaker and also a psychologist. My name is Asnina Ibrahim, and I'll be your host for today. Welcome to the show. Mr. Joe,
Yeah,
can you introduce yourself to our audience? You're welcome.
thank you so much, HKTV, for having me today. So, my name, as she has said, I am Joe Ogolla, and I am a public speaker and as well a psychologist. But yeah,
So, Mr. Joe, tell us, why should people listen to you?
why should people listen to me?
Yeah.
That's a very, very interesting question. So, like, for me, I'll say you should listen to me because, like, number one, I bring a unique taste in form of deliverance. I bring a taste of a voice and to the voiceless. I also bring a taste of authenticity and creativity. And I have a story that I believe bears healing. So yeah.
Yeah. So, Joe, for someone who is meeting you or seeing you for the first time on 8K TV, who is Joe in your own words?
Joe in my own one.
Yeah.
So Joe is number one, a child born of both parents, mom and dad, and like I've been born and brought up in Kibra, slums of Nairobi, and like my growing up started in the year 2002 on February 14th, and like it was full of challenges, full of a lot going on. So yeah, but Joe is a person who has practiced resilience over the years, and as a result of that, Joe has come on to become a person of substance, a person of inspiration, and a person of motivation and to people. So yeah.
So, Mr. Joe, you were born on Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
the day which the world celebrates love, and yeah. So, how does it feel for you, or maybe your mother, being born on that day?
So being born on Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
a day of love, a day whereby like people have the capability of expressing love. I came as an answered prayer to my mom.
Yeah.
Because like my mom, she was really, really struggling to have children. And then when I was born, I came as an answered prayer. So to my mom, she was all happy, all excited, all like thanksgiving unto God. Because like she had really, really had so many miscarriages. And having me on that day was like an expression of God's love unto her. So to my family members, I mean to my relatives, they were happy, they were happy. So me as an individual being born on that day is like a blessing because like as life went by, I've been able to, let's say, be an instrument of love. So yeah, it's really an honor. So yeah.
So, as you said, your mother waited many years and went through miscarriages before you were born. How did she tell you the story, and how did that shape you as a person, or you, your identity?
So how I came to find out about the story was one time, like I had performed really well in school. Like we are the kids who we are blessed academically. So one time I just came with the report from home. When I got home with the report from, she was all excited and she was like, Joe, you know what? I never knew you would one day become such an individual. So I began asking her, Zileza, wow, what do you mean? So she was like, you know what? Like, I have been, I struggled so much to have children, and like you coming on board and like you basically doing the things you're doing, making me proud is really, really something. So that's how now I came and like I knew the story behind me coming on board. And like after understanding that, I was like, wow, I need to make her proud. So it has really, really shaped me with regard to how I work. Because like I work so hard knowing that back back left
Yeah.
there is someone who needs to feel the pride of being a mother, the pride of, let's say, raising a child with, after like so many miscarriages, and like me coming on board, like to her, it's it's literally a blessing.
Blessing.
So I walk in life and like knowing that my hard work, there is someone to enjoy it. There is someone who just sits there and like she's all expectant. She's like all cheering. She's there for me. And like, yeah, I work so hard, let's say like to make her proud. So that is what has really, really shaped me as an individual. Knowing the background story, and like now after 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 having that background story, I now come to understand that the way like the saying goes that an a history that you don't know is a future you can't handle. So like for my mom, after now getting that that history of like how she really really struggled to have children, and now that I'm here on board, the future, I how now I begin to navigate it is like, it's like, let me say, a fanning of the flame. So yeah.
That's really, really nice
Mhm.
story. As a child, you
Mhm.
couldn't crawl, talk, or walk for a long time. What memories stand out the most from that season?
So, what the viewers might not know is that I was born as a normal child, but when I got to 3 months, I became sick, and I became really, really sick. That to some extent, all the people, like, they refused to take me in. The relatives, they rejected me, and they were like, you know what, this kid is not just an ordinary kid like we expected him to be. So like at 3 months, a baby is supposed to be making progress. But then this kid is just growing, but we are not seeing the progress. We are not seeing him having the ability to crawl. We are not seeing him having the capability of sitting, having the stamina to basically have strong bones on his legs to basically begin walking. So at 3 months of age, like that was something. That was something. And like my mom, she used to take me to different hospitals by then. And then these hospitals used to tell her, you know what, just bury this kid. This kid, he will never ever 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 be like, he will never ever live to such a bigger age. So you just prepare yourself to basically bury this kid. So my mom, she worked almost all hospitals, but all the hospitals, they were same results, same records and stuff. So at some point she was like, you know what, let me just stop going to hospital. Because like, yeah, yeah. And like my memories of childhood, they are so lonely. No one is there. I'm not even allowed to basically like like get out of the house. No one wants to carry me as a child because like they're like, when we carry this kid will die. He will die in my arms. So what will I tell the mother? So those are some of the chronicles that that I can remember. So my childhood was literally lonely, and like most of the time I used to be kept indoor. Why? Because outside the home, people, the stigma was real. It was there that this kid was actually a disabled kid. And like my mom, since I could not walk, I could not do anything, I could not even crawl, I used just to lie down on the bed or on the sofa. So yeah, that was my life, just lying down. It was so much evident till age 3. So at age 3 now, this is the time when a child in Kenya is he or she is supposed to go to school. So me at that time I could not even walk. So going to school was difficult. But my mom, she tried to let's say take me to these different schools. But on getting there, all schools rejected me. Because they were like, how will we survive with such a kid who cannot talk, who cannot crawl, who cannot walk, who cannot even sit? This kid, he cannot hold anything using his hands. So like, my mom worked literally on every school in Nairobi, but all schools rejected me. They were like, no, madam, we cannot take this kid. This kid, you just take him to a special school. So yeah, but at that time my mom used to sell groceries. So she used to, if let's say I'm not at home, she used to take me at her kibanda. So there she used to put me there. The sun could kick in there. If let's say like at times like she had gone, then like the rain starts to drizzle and stuff. So I could be rained on there. So at times one customer customers used to come, and then they used to tell her that this kid is big, but like why is he not going to school? And then my mom used to tell them, I've tried taking him to different schools, but all schools have refused to take him in. So those are some of the chronicles and some of the memories that I could literally remember. So yeah. So it was lonely, it was no one wanted anything to deal with me. This kid who came as joy now has become something that the family and as well my mom, she could not believe it. That I gave birth to a child after really struggling. Then now here comes the child, and the child develops a condition that even doctors can't help. I've tried taking him to different hospitals. Now these hospitals and schools have rejected to take him in. So what do I do? Nothing. Let me just sit with the kid at the kibanda. There.
Oh, that's really emotional. In your story, you said that doctors once told your mother to prepare your grave. When you later learned about this, how did it like make you feel about your life and purpose?
So for me, having known this history and stuff, and today, like, I believe it has given me a different way of I, I'm I'm now viewing life in different perspectives. That my lenses of life have actually changed. That to some extent, no human is limited. That no human is actually limited to let's say the doctor's prescriptions. No human is limited to let's say like people's perspective. So yeah, like it has given me another sense of living, that everything is actually possible. That to some extent, yes, the doctors, they might have said it, but that's not the final one. So yeah, like right now I'm living life in the lenses of no one is limited, nothing is impossible. That to some extent, to human beings it might be impossible, but then to God it's not. So like it makes me have a more positive way of living life, that to some extent life might be hard for someone, but then it's just a matter of time. it's just a matter of time that to some extent the optimistic traits in me have really grown. And yeah, like for me, I take everything as a season, that nothing is static. Things pass, situations change, seasons shift. So yeah, that's how now I live life. That to some extent, in whatever struggles you're facing, in whatever struggles that I go through, to some extent they're just a matter of time. And like with regard to purpose now, this is what now made me to become a voice unto the voiceless. Because to some extent, there are people who have been silent, literally. Probably they're good at this skill, probably they're good at something, but then as a result of the society telling them that you know what, you're not able, you can't do it. So I stand in as a voice to tell them that if my story changed, also yours can change. So yeah, it has really shaped my view of life, and as well, it has become like a steering wheel that ushers me to my purpose each and every day. So yeah.
And we can even say that you are able differently.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be the same with them. So yours is a bit different, and I really love like the mindset, the positive mindset that you have, and yeah. So you are isolated and labeled as a disabled child. How did the rejection from the neighbors and relatives affect you emotionally?
It really affected me at that time. Because, like, I used to wonder that why am I being, like, secluded?
Yeah.
Why am I not being included? Why are other people walking and yet me are not walking? Why can can people talk and yet me I'm just seated there? Yes, the urge of talking is there, but then I can't talk. Why is this the case? So these whys, the many whys that I had, they used to really affect me, because like at times I could see myself as a lesser human being. That to some extent they're actually more than me. They're actually more blessed than I am. That to some extent the whys now, they really used to make me have low self-esteem. They used to make me sad at time, quite a lot of times, because like I used to be like, why am I not being given the same chances as other people? Why is there favorism? Why can't I do this and this and this? So it used to make me feel like I'm limited, like I'm not wanted, that to some extent that other people, they're actually better than me. But then the perspective changed when now I joined school. Because like there the kibanda, this customer just came one time and she was like, you know what, I'll come and take you to school. So at that time my mom was there, the kibanda. So my mom was like, each and every customer says that. So how can yours be different? But by God's grace, this customer came the following day. So after coming the following day, she took me into her school. Now this school is a symbolic school because of the name actually, because it was called Future Star. Now, me there, I've now come to this environment where there are many kids. So I'm not used to such an environment. So after now sitting there and then like viewing how the kids are, so you remember I told you at age 3, I could not sit, I could not walk, I could not talk, I could not hold anything using my hands. So what this customer did, when she took me to that class, she inserted me right between a table and a chair. So she took a chair and a table and like placed me between them. So she mimicked that this kid could actually sit. It's just a matter of time. So let's mimic. So that's what she did. So after mimicking that, a teacher entered. Now when this teacher entered, she never knew my condition. But then, like after entering that class, she was like, "Good morning, class," and every kid answered except me because they could not talk. So like hearing their response was like the teacher entered and she asked the class, "Good morning, class," and every kid was there answering, "Good morning, teacher so and so," and I'm there, I'm all excited, like this is the first time that I'm in a place full of kids and like they're talking in unison, and I was like, wow, it's just a matter of time that even me, I'll be talking like them. So like after now they brought, this teacher, she began giving out crayons. So you remember I told you I cannot hold anything using my hand. So she gave me a crayon and then this crayon shook and it fell. So she picked it up, she gave me again. When she gave me again, the crayon shook and it fell. Now, the third time, she felt as if this kid is a cheeky kid. So she slapped me. So after slapping me, I fell down. So after falling down, I could not stand, I could not walk, I could not crawl. So the alternative, after now, I fell down, she noticed that, wait a minute, this kid cannot even stand. So what's wrong with this kid? And that's how now other kids realize, wait a minute, this kid is actually different than us. So that's how now the special customer came. She took me, she carried me up, and she took me to her office. Now, this special customer, allegedly, she was the head of that school. And that's how now I began my school life. Because, like, I was not being taken to school, like, placed with the other kids. I was literally taught by only one teacher, that special customer. And, like, each and every morning, she used to come for me at the kibanda and she could take me to her office. So that's how now I began to view life differently. That to some extent, I'm actually learning. That to some extent, it's only a matter of time and I'll walk. That to some extent, it's only a matter of time that I'll start walking, I'll talk, I'll hold something using my hands. Yeah. And now that I have completed school, like now looking back, I'm like, wait a minute. The thing that made me unique is actually something that made me special. So yeah. So back then, I used to view it as probably they're better than me. Probably my self-esteem was low. But after undergoing school and realizing, wait a minute, I'm actually more gifted in books than they are. So I'm actually better than them. So yeah, that is what made my perspective to change. After now undergoing the system and actually completing it and realizing, wait a minute, I'm actually smarter than these kids. So yeah, yes they can walk, yes they can talk, but now with me, I can do all these things, yeah, with only a matter of time. So yeah.
So before the special customer came in, many schools rejected you because of your condition. How painful was it to be denied something basic as education before the special customer
It was really, really painful. But then at that age, you see, your mind has not advanced. So like to me, going to school was like the optimum goal. Because me and you, in school, that's where children are taught how to walk. In school, that's where people are taught how to hold things. In school, that's how now like people are told are taught how to talk. So for me, at that age, it was not really that painful. It was like I knew that at the right age, I would still go to school. Yeah. So it was not really painful at that time because like my level of knowledge was kind of like less. But today, having to sit down and like analyzing everything, I'm like, oh my days, it was really painful. That being denied something basic. Yeah, as education, like because you're just differently able. Yeah. Nowadays I look at it and like it's like a burning flame in me to actually want to make a difference. So yeah, that makes me have a lot of motivation in like advocacy in terms of inclusivity. So I'm like, if that was me and like the special customer came to my rescue, how many people have this special customer who will see potential in them? So for me, right now, I position myself as that special customer to different people who are viewed as less, who the society views them as, you know what, you're useless. There is nothing good that can amount to you. So yeah, that's on all my perspective. That's the pain that I went through right now actually turned into something that steers me each and every morning when I wake up. But to some extent, Joe, you have to advocate for someone who is being seen as less. That Joe, you really have to grow in terms of capacity so that you can actually advocate for inclusivity. So back then, it wasn't painful, but today it is painful. Because now, with the knowledge that I have, with the skills, with the things that I've been able to do, I'm like, how many people have, are being dimmed their light? How many people do not have access to this special customer like I did? How many people, like, their lights are not being given the opportunity to shine? Evil. Yeah.
Is the special customer still around? Do you guys talk?
Yeah, we
And
talk.
I know she means a lot to you.
Yeah,
and
she really does.
that's really nice.
She's around. Actually, we lost contact a bit, but when she now came back, and like since her last time seeing me, I was in standard in class, I think 3. So like we lost contact completely since her school was actually demolished. So after that, like I went to another school called Three Bells. So after going to Three Bells, I now shifted to Olympic, which is now a public school. So that is where I did my KCP. After that, I proceeded to high school in the Hospital Hill High School. Then I now passed. So after passing, I was able to enter into university. So my university. So I'm meeting her when I've already completed my KCPE, KCSE, and like I think we met when I was now a 4th-year student. So her seeing me first, she never believed. And wait a minute, this is a seed that I actually planted. So her just interacting with me, hearing the things that I do. So apparently she was just hearing rumors of the things that I do. So having come to having come into contact with me when now I'm a fourth year, almost graduating from university, she was all excited the way I had grown, the way like the things I'm doing. So yeah, till date, like whenever I post something, she's always the first to comment.
The number one cheerleader.
Exactly, she's there. Joe, go, you can do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have contact. Yeah, we do have contact. But now, we lost it at some point. But right now, we're good. We're good. She sees me and she cannot believe it.
And she must be proud.
Exactly. She always tells me that.
Aside from that, we can say that life in Kibera was so like smooth and all that. What did the streets teach you? You must have some lesson in the streets, you know, with the boys. Let's say, for example, when you entered high school or maybe university. So, yeah.
Kibera is tough. Kibera is tough.
Tough.
Kibera is not easy.
Yeah.
Because let me just say what the listeners and viewers don't know is that at home things are unbearable. Things are not just all flashy, all nice, all good, or like bougie. No, things are tough because like at that time, as I had said, my mom used to sell groceries. So in Kibra, there are so many groceries going on. There's so many people selling veggies, selling the essentials of groceries. The vendors are there. There are people who have already established customers. So my mom, at times, will go home without even selling a thing. So what will you eat? You start eating the stock. Because like, there is nothing that you've gotten. And so, the veggies, I've eaten veggies so many times. Not once, not twice. At times you will just eat the veggies alone. Because like there is no money to go and buy flour. Or at times you will sleep hungry. Totally hungry. So my dad, at that time, like he had already started drinking alcohol, and we all know the effects of alcohol. So like he could go to work, then all his money he could take it to the bar. So he used to drink, and like he could come home, cause violence, he could fight. Like throughout my life, all I can remember was just fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. Every night, it was a tug of war in our home. So that time, I was alone. My sisters had not been born. So I have 3 sisters. All of them, they are small. So I am the firstborn. So there, it was tough. It was really, really tough. At times, like, the house we were in, whenever it rained, the water drops will enter into our house. Not just from the roof, but as well from the door. Because like, outside our house, kulikuwa na mtaro. So like, the canal ikipitisha maji, the water could split into our home. So it was really, really hectic. At times you guys could sleep, and then you wake up, you find yourself like things are floating. So like you have to wake up in the middle of the night to basically like remove the excess water and stuff. At times like the rain could be so heavy until like the iron sheets zinabomoka, zinatoka, like literally. So it was tough. It was tough. It was really, really tough. So going to school was also tough for me. Because like we are the kids who we used to borrow pencils and pens. We are the kids who whenever the time for sending people home because of school fees are there, we were there. Our names. We used to know like Joe Ezekiel Sakayelis. Joe could be sent home. Joe used to come to school late each and every time. Because like at home no one is there to basically wake you up and tell you Joe go to school. So like you're waking up and looking at the clock, it's 8 a.m. So in school, you're actually supposed to get there by 6:30. So you're there, you're trying to dress up, meaning you reach in class, you get the other students there. They have already begun their first lesson. So sure guarantee you're being beaten. Or a time, like they say, I used to be told, Joe, go and kneel outside. Because like I literally used to come to school late each and every morning. And like obvious since at home it was violence upon violence. The time for doing homework was not there. So this was another added strokes of canes. Because like you've not done homework. I never used to be given pocket money by my parents. Why? Because like we've not eaten at home. Your school fees are not being paid. So how will we give you pocket money? So we are the kids who survive through borrowing people their food. We used to borrow. We used to borrow. We used to borrow pens. We used to borrow rubbers, textbooks, everything, literally everything. We used to borrow. At times, they could deny you, so you find another way. You just go and you just take. They don't call it stealing, but we call it taking. And then like after we've already utilized it, we were the good students who, after utilizing whatever thing we've taken, we could return. So yeah, so it was really, really tough. I tell you for a fact, at times I could go home and find the door of our house locked. Because like we've not paid rent. It was hectic. It was really, really tough. Sleeping hungry, going to class when you've not even eaten. So yeah, borrowing other kids. They look at you as a nuisance. To some extent, why don't you carry? But then, like, you can't even tell them. Getting sweaters was hard. Like, at times I could go to class when I'm shivering, literally. And now I've gotten to that class late, so the teacher could go like, you're coming to school right now. So you think this school is your father's school. Can you kneel outside there? So you go outside, you kneel. And unfortunately on that day, it's raining. You're there in the morning. You're literally shivering, no sweater, you're not even eating in the morning. Yeah. It reached a point when everything was just tough. So I decided, let me now escape from home. Let me go and figure it out on the streets. So I remember I dropped out of school and like I entered the streets. The streets are not tough. Tougher than home. Because there, no one is giving you any food. There is no one who is hustling for you. You have to hustle for yourself. So it was literally another living hell. So at least at home, the rain, school rain, and then like you're seated there, the iron sheets are shielding you. Now on the streets, you could get rained on while you're just standing. You're literally standing, and the rain is just hitting on you. And then at that point, kulikuwa na kanjos.
Yeah.
So kanjos used to have a street kid. They could just take them and put them in the cell. So yeah.
You've ever slept in a cell?
Yeah. You don't joke. Don't joke. And then like you enter the cell, it's so dark, it's so cold. Like inside the cell, it's just another level of temperature. It's like we don't know how they do it, but there is a certain cold temperature there. That it's like you entered into a fridge. So it's literally cold, and then like there are ants and these bed bugs there. You can't even hit one. Because like whenever they're the one leading the station is there at the counter. Akisikia unagonga hivi mkono, the person literally asks you, you're hitting an officer. Unagonga officer? Eh? So yeah, it's
so
really,
a bed
really
bug
tough.
is an officer.
Yeah, like the bed bug there itself is the officer. So like, why are you hitting an officer? Yeah, it was really, really tough. The cells really cold. Let's say today you wake up and then you find people dying next to you because of lack of food, hunger. Or at times there are kids who they used to go borrow, and since the people there, they're seeing them as nuisance, they could put poison in those foods. So this kid comes, he or she is being given food, and the next morning you wake up and you hear that the food he or she took was poisoned. So I survived the streets through the mercies of God. And like one time, our police officer just came and like he arrested quite a couple of us because like we were loitering in the CBD.
Yeah.
So he took us in and like he looked at me and he was like, Joe. No, he asked me first, what's your name? And I was like, Joe. And he was like, Joe, you're not tough. You're not meant to live such kind of a life. Do you have parents? And I was like, yes. Just go back home. And he like, hadi life ikuwa ngumu. He just like, go back home. Stay there. It's safer. So that's how now I came back home. I continued in school. Though still tough, but it was really, really something. So yeah.
I believe that you escaping home was not your own idea, because how did you get to the streets? And most of all, you are not around Kibera, it's CBD. So did you have a friend who influenced you, or how did you get to that point of going to sell, you being a street kid in CBD, you know?
You remember I told you that growing up I was isolated. I was rejected and like I was stigmatized. So there, like no one wanted anything to do with me. So I had no one else to run to. So that's how now I decided to let me say like escape from home. And then like
from the violence at home.
Exactly, from the violence, from the like the lack. Because my idea was, let me go to the streets and like find peace. And like try to make a hustle of myself. And like try to help mom as well. Because like mom was really, really struggling. And like my dad is just there. So it was really, really something. But getting there, it was tough. Hey man, it was tough. It was tough. Yo, it was tough. So at times, like, you could go borrow people, they have already stigmatized you as a thief.
Yeah.
So they could see you and just scream. Literally scream. And you're there just begging for them to heal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting somewhere to sleep was a problem. Getting the corridors to sleep was also a problem. So the cold could hit you there, the rain could hit you there. So for me, I went to the street simply because, like, I saw no one could help.
Mm-hmm.
No one could help. No one, literally no one. Yeah. But now reaching there, it was tough. So that policeman told me, Joe, man, you're not built for this. You just go back home. So Kurudi home, the life still continued lifing. It had not gotten better. Like right now, my dad was addicted. Like literally addicted. So imefika level mali, like he cannot do away alcohol. So violence at home. And now right now, my sisters are already on board. So you're literally like the six of you in one household, a single room. You're there, dad doing all these dramas. You're lacking food. In school, you're being sent away. Or if you're not being sent away, unachapwa viboko. Literally concentrating in class was a problem. But then, like, let me just say I had a high IQ. So like, I never used to read at home, but in class, with everything the teacher had taught, I could grasp it. It's basically a gift of high IQ. So during exam, I used to pass well, but now the exam that I could literally not do, because that day, like, I did not make it to go to school. Because, like, it reached a point where me going to school was actually a problem. I fear the canes. That you sit down and imagine, right now it's 9 o'clock. And yesterday I entered the class at 7 and still I got the teacher. Now let me not just go. Yeah, I used to get quite absenteeism in school. Yeah, but let me just say it is by the grace of God that I actually finished my class 8. And I went to this prestigious school, this posh school in Westlands called Hospital Hill High School, where now my exposure changed. So that's where you enter, you find people who are being given 50,000 as pocket money. So you're not being given anything. There you find kids who are twanging. You don't know how to twang. You're just speaking broken English there. You're just there. Like, other kids are being brought by personal vehicles. You depend on the mats to basically get to school. It's really, really quite a lot when the other kids are talking about Dubai and stuff. You can only talk about Kidra. When the other kids are talking about the latest PS, the only thing you know is PS year 10 Bob. So yeah. So that's how now the exposure came. That's how now I knew that actually outside here there are people who are living the life. So me, I'm there. I've never been introduced to social media. So I'm hearing things like Instagram, TikTok, and stuff. So me, I've never been exposed to something. Actually, it was a shock for me getting to that class at Form 1, and I'm hearing people talking about the latest iPhones and stuff. Me never knew about the latest iPhones. To me, if you've made it, you have a motorcycle somewhere. So yeah, like you have Lucy, like
Yeah.
why is there a need for a car?
Mm-hmm.
But then here now you come, you hear the stories and like the way they are talking, the way they're just speaking in English.
Mm-hmm.
You get used to speaking in Chang. So you're like, hey, wait a minute. And then like the environment also has shifted. You realize that you only have one shot.
Yeah.
Then they have a couple of shots in their boxes. And like if one get lost,
Mm-hmm.
they will just call at home and like a dozen will be brought. You're there, the one that you have, that is the only one that you have. So it's either this or this.
Yeah.
So that evening, you remove your shirt, you go wash it, and then you put it on the hanging line.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning you'll take it. But then you come in and see a life of abundance.
Yeah.
That there are people who have it major. That there are people who they don't depend on one.
Mm-hmm.
They have a dozen. That there are people who they could go to the canteen on a daily basis. But you, whenever my mom used to escort me, he used to give me 100 bob. And these 100 bob, she could lecture me like it was 100K. Like, this money I'm giving you, Joe, use it wisely. Use it wisely. I repeat, use it wisely. And like, whenever it's Ikisha, don't call me. Don't call me. So yeah, because like at home, you've not left a tree that has money.
Yeah.
In Swahili, we say, whenever I used to call, she could tell me, Jonathan, umeacha pesa huko yenye tu tulipanda alafu tunangojea tu upige tukuchunie tukutumie. So yeah, but then here you come and meet some students who like they have it in abundance. They literally have it. Like pocket money yao ni ka school fees yako ya semester mzima. So you're like, hey, which kind of a life have I been living? So yeah, to them speaking English is like something they're used to. To you, you look at it and you're like, hey, you tiaji. How can I speak English from Monday to Monday? Like English is just for the English lesson. So yeah, having these two different worlds and stuff, that is what made me realize that, you know what, there is another side of life than just struggling. There are people who they can spend 20,000 in the canteen and they see it as nothing. There are people who they could carelessly misplace their thing by just one phone call. Everything is being literally brought again. So having these two experiences really shaped me in like my life. So yeah. But Kibra is tough.
T for tough.
Kibra is T for tough. You see, like whenever you hear people talking about hell, hell is real. Hell is literally real. And there are people who are undergoing daily. So yeah.
Oh, so at what points did you know God moved not just a region, mountain, and to a personal healing experience for you? Like, how can you like mention God's, I don't know how to say, mercy, abundance, gifts, you know?
So
Yeah.
the dynamic about me and God, because immediately before I did my KCSE. So like KCSE, obviously your time a lot of prayers, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm there, I'm seeing people are praying, people are there praying, people are there praying and praying and praying.
Yeah.
But then the same since I was supposed to do my KCSE in 2020.
Yeah.
So that same year, Corona has tried. So we were told, Zileza, you know what? Like, you people just go home. Go home. So I'm coming back home. I started questioning a lot. Zileza, how is my life gonna be after my Form 4? Because you know, right now, I already have found exposure. I've already been interacting with these students who are from bougie homes, from posh homes, and I'm like, wait a minute, why is my life like this? Why was I born this way? Why was my childhood so traumatic? Why is our family living this way? So these questions during the Corona period, like, was what was lingering in my head all the time. That why is my life full of luck? Why is my life like going this way? And yet, like, I'm progressing. Yes, I'm not progressing that easily, but I'm not giving up. Our house, much less the rain entered, but this house has never ever fallen down. My dad, much less he is addicted, much less like it reaches a point whereby like he drinks until he cannot stand, but then he just finds a way to reach home. So such questions rather, Zileza, what keeps him safe? What gives him the strength to stagger regardless and reach home? So these basic questions was what was going on in my head. And then during the Corona period, you remember like it affected the western side so much, and like the people who we used to see dying are people who according to me they have it major. Like these people, they have already made it in life. They have all the money, they have all everything that a human would want. But then, them, why are they the only ones dying? But then, as for us, we are safe. The people who we cannot like afford to go to hospitals and stuff, like Corona isn't affecting us. So these questions, I wanted answers. And like going back to school, after now like the cabinet secretary for education announcing that those who are supposed to sit for their KCC should go back to school. So like getting there in school. So what I forgot to tell you is that during my 4 years in high school, I had already begun speaking. I could now walk and like I could not talk. So as a result of that, like I ended up beginning to do public speaking. So during the music festivals, I used to go do public speaking in these competitions and stuff. So Corona hits, nothing goes on in school. So I go home and then suddenly these questions just start triggering me. So in going back to school, I still had these questions. Then when now we went back to school, the CU chairman, he was there and he told me, Joe, you're so eloquent in doing public speaking. So Joe, since today is on a Sunday, we would like you to preach. I've never ever preached in my life. So like Joe, we want you to preach today for us. Since like you've been going outside, you've been doing public speaking in these different forums, in school competitions. So like with regard to confidence. You have the confidence. So you just come and tell us something. So that's why now I intentionally open the Bible. So after now opening the Bible, reading through scriptures, I went and preached. So I preached about prayer and about the power of prayer. So throughout my life, I've never ever preached. My prayer life is not that intense. So from there, I'm like, in the preaching, it's like I'm preaching something. Yes, the conviction is there, but then I'm finding answers to the question that I was having. Because I'm like, prayer is what sustains you. Prayer is what protects you. So the questions that I'm having is, every time I'm on the streets or at home, the thing that used to preserve me was prayer. That to some extent, like, the thing that has really sustained me has been prayer. Yes, I just even intense, but now the little prayers from people looking at me and just like saying, Joe, let me pray for you. Yeah. People looking at me, also me deep inside telling myself, Zileza, if truly there is a God, please help me. And like God used to show up for me, like through that preaching is when now those answers began to come. That to some extent, it has not been my doing. It has been the doings of the one I've been praying to. And the person who, or rather the being that I've been praying to is God. So that's how now I began to do more research about God. I began to listen to sermons about God, wanting to know, who is this God? Where does he stay? Why can't he just come down and take care of me? So yeah, that's how now God came in the picture. So through me doing quite a lot of Bible study, through reading scripture, through reading a lot pertaining godly articles, through hearing the testimonies of people, the stories of people, and they could give their credit to God, and I was like, wait a minute, my story and everything I've been going through, it's actually been God who has been sustaining me. So yeah. So that's how now God came in the picture. And like me, having now come to coming to have an understanding that, you know what, Joe, you're not the one who controls the way you wake up, the way you sleep. You've stayed days without food, but then you're not yet dead. Your childhood, it's been God all through, whether you're seeing it or not, but it's been Him who has been taking care of you. So yeah, your school fees, how like people, strangers used to come and just say, Joe, I'll pay your fee. Even my high school fee was paid through sponsorship. So yeah, I used to sit down and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not in Form 4. My life, yes, has been through a lot going on, but my life at no point has it been stagnant. It has been just moving to the next level. So right now, I'm in Form 4. God, I want to do a case study. If you truly exist, let me go to campus. But I tell you for a fact, I went to campus. And though it was not easy, because I'm doing this prayer after I've done my last paper of KCSE because like that paper, throughout my KCSE, my eyes literally could not see. So even how now I came and did the question that I did with the less capability of visual that I had, I told God, honestly, this KCSE, I've really struggled with my sight. But then I've done my best to the best of my capability. So God, if you truly exist, help me to go to campus. So yeah.
Kwa streets tunasemanga ni God manze.
Ni God manze.
Ni God siku zote,
Kupenya
right?
kampu ni God manze.
Ni God.
Not sure. Because like literally there, my eyes during my KCSE period, they were not working at all. Like I could see questions, but then at some point, these questions, they used to kind of like disappear from my eye. So like I could really struggle in reading a question. But then like I could write answers. But now I'm not sure if these are the actual answers to this question. Because like I'm not seeing the questions well. Yeah. So it was a case study for me when I entered in campus. Zile za, yani after struggling with my eyes, then I did this small prayer, then God answered it. And yeah, this God truly exists. So yeah, that's how now I got the application from Coops. That Joy, you know what? Boom.
Going to more.
Go enjoy more university. I did not believe it because I knew that, you know what, Joe, you've not written anything on that paper. So for me, it was actually a miracle. So yeah. That's how now we are God in a camp.
We got manze,
You
right?
got manze, Joe.
So how has studying psychology helped you understand your own wounds and your healing journey?
So, studying psychology, I honestly never wanted to do psychology. It was my last option of a course that I wanted to do. I wanted to do law.
Wow.
Because like, having been raised up in Kibra, and the chronicles I've gone through, I was like, probably, like, the society will be better if the judicial system could work. Because like, we don't choose to go to steal. It's only the situation that we are in that makes us to go to steal. We are not genuinely bad people, but under some circumstances is when now like we are forced to do the vices. So I wanted to do law. And then genuinely, throughout my high school, I loved history. So like, I knew that my end goal will be to do law. If I do. And then now, through law, I could find a leeway and enter into politics. So yeah. So I did psychology as a last option for me. Zileza, I chose it as a last option.
Yeah.
But then, when now I accepted the call to go to my university, I entered in class 101, psychology. I'm there in class. And all I can hear is the components of the brain. And I'm like, how will me studying the brain help me? Me want to do something that's tangible. But then, as the lesson progresses, you now begin to hear that, you know what, at some stages in your life, there are some brain developments that did not occur. That's why you're this and this and this and this and this. So, me, hearing the lecturer speaking, and then I'm like, wait a minute. This is me. Why could I not speak Because allegedly, my brain had not advanced to speech, and that is now what we call autism. The mobility was not there, so that's a syndrome deficiency. So, at my young age, from the understanding year class, I now came to understand that, Joe, you know what? You're not actually disabled. It was a brain developmental deficiency called autism syndrome deficiency. So I'm there, I'm like, wait a minute. So see hata kurogwa. Because like, I'm there, I'm now starting to understand that, you know what, Joe? You are not just like missing out of school. That was as a result of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, that in your childhood, you never had a normal childhood. Because like you saw your mom and dad fighting from a small age. So those are traumas that you're carrying. And you concentrating in class was a problem, not because the situation at home was overwhelming, no. It was because of the post-traumatic stress disorder. And I'm there, I'm like, wait a minute. The thing that I've been going through is not actually like the overwhelming experience at home, no. That's called stress. And Joe, you're not worried about the future. That's called anxiety. So I'm there, I'm like, wait a minute. Who lecturer? Mbona ananiongelelea mimi? Then pole pole, you begin to be taught about emotions. That to some extent, if you do not grow well, then these are some of the emotions that you lack. That to some extent, you have something called emotional numbness. That Joe, when you learn mwenyewe, whenever a hard experiences comes, you'll just laugh it off. That's something called ego defense mechanism, and it's called repression. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, lecturer, mbona ananiongelea mimi? Like, I usually laugh whenever things are overwhelming.
Yeah.
Me think it's normal, but then it's not normal. So Joe, you know what? You need to heal, my brother. Heal. Heal from the painful experiences, because that is what is causing emotional numbness. This is how an ideal emotion should look like. This is how a normal person with a normal upbringing should look like. Joe, you see, your speech problem was something called autism. Joe, you know what? At times, like, your dad, he began to drink alcohol, not because he wanted to. There are underlying issues. So, Joe, there is something called empathy, that to some extent, you have to fit yourself in a person's shoes. Joe, there is something called non-judgmental as a psychologist. So you're not supposed to judge people. Joe, there is something called congruence. Joe, there is something called unconditional positive regard. So Joe, you know what? You've been blaming your dad all your life for being a bad person, and yet you've never taken time to understand why he drinks alcohol. How did it come about, Joe? You've been really overwhelmed, not knowing that whatever thing you're going through, they are traumas. Joe, you've lost a lot of friends, and like you never healed. Joe, you've lacked so many times, such that whatever thing you're going through is called emotional neglect wound. So I'm there, I'm like, wait a minute, huyu lecturer kwani ametumwa? Ananiongelelea. Because like everything he taught was like a question on myself. It was like, Joe, there is something you're lacking. Joe, there is a need that you needed ukiwa young na ulilack. Joe, you have this and this deficiency. So studying psychology imenifanya ni view life from a different perspective, and hence healing kakuja. Because like you cannot heal from something that you don't know you're suffering from. So I'm like, wait a minute, Joe, this is what you've been going through all along your life, and probably you never knew. So Joe, man, you need to heal. So upon the psychology come.
So Joe, you graduated. Tell us about it.
My graduation,
Yeah.
it was really something, because like, as I told you, Zileva 844 as a system has not been easy from primary to secondary and then on campus. So in campus, I've had several chronicles since number one is the change of environment. I'm used to living in Nairobi, so right now I've been called to my university and it's in Eldoret. So you go there, you have a shift of environment. There is no auntie or uncle of yours there, your mom is not there. So my university has its own chronicles, because like I used to, let's say, like do for the kids their assignments to basically earn a living. At times I could do food vending. By the way, it has really advanced my chef skills. They are really good at cooking. But then I never chose to cook. It was like a mandatory thing so that like you can earn a living. At times people used to call me, John, I've cooked so much food, come and eat. And I'm there, I'm like, wow, let me go eat. But then they think that, you know what, Joe, we've called you since we have plenty. But then they don't know you yourself. You come because you don't have any kind of food to eat. So yeah, campus, I've met different people, have met so many people, have met people who they really stood the ground to help me with my fees. I've met people who they have really seen potential in me. And like the graduation was kind of like emotional, more so to my mom. So my mom, she has never ever stepped in my university ever since I was admitted. So even on that admission date, she never took me to school, because like she had no fare from Nairobi to Eldoret. So she told me, Joe, you know what? You just go. God will be with you. God will lead you. So I went there. I admitted myself. So during the time for graduation was her first time coming to my university, and she's coming to see her son, who is dressed in a full regalia. So she was so much overwhelmed. She even cried. She's like, hey Joe, I never thought this day could come, that I could see you wearing a graduation regalia. She actually made the point to actually come. She was like, Joe, you know what? I may not have the money, but then I'll borrow. I must come to see my son graduate. So there, I saw her. She was all excited. My friends who knew the chronicles that I've gone through, they were really happy. They were really happy. And then like, as a result of, let's say, like the way people used to look down upon me, and then now they're saying that this person has actually graduated. So it was really a dream come true for me. And the way like I told you, I never knew that I will join campus.
Yeah.
So that was actually so overwhelming for me. It was like, wow, a child from Kibra who was really struggled in life comes to Eldoret, a foreign land. He is forced to survive through hell, through thick and thin. And now, right now, he has actually graduated. A child whose dad is a drunkard. No one from the family side has ever reached to that level of study. So you've really, really studied, and like, yeah, you're there. So it was a proud moment for also my sisters. They were like, wow, our bro has done it. We will also do it. So it was generally a happy moment, but then it was also emotional. Until like my mom, after that, she actually left me there. Because like she was like, Joe, I don't have the money to go and throw for you a big party. But she just know that I'm really, really so proud of you. So yeah. So for me, making her proud, like I told you, that was my motive. My motive was like, my mom, she has really, really struggled to get kids. So that was a proud moment for her, and I gave her that. So that was what gave me the fulfillment that after struggling to pay the fee, after struggling to, let's say, maintain me in school, that I actually have a substance to show to the world that the schooling was not in vain. And like I finished the 844 system. So yeah, that was the graduation ceremony for me. It came with a lot of emotions, but yeah, it was a proud moment. And like having been refused to be taken in at age 3 by all schools, right now have been able to basically like graduate from one of the top known universities in the country and as well Africa. So it was really, really something for me. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Finally, Joe, for someone who is watching this interview, who feels rejected, broken, and almost giving up in life, like, what message would you like to tell them?
Well, so to that person,
Yeah.
I'll say the world is tough. The world isn't easy. The world is filled with a lot of pain. But then, look at the dynamics of gold. Gold, for it to look like that, it has to undergo into a hot flame.
Yeah.
It passes through hot flame. So yeah, you're the gold. Endure. And to the person who feels rejected, they're rejecting you because you're unique. You are not built to fit in. You are built to stand out.
Yeah.
And what I've come to learn in life is, whenever people sit, you are not meant to sit with them. You're actually meant to stand. Whenever people stand, you're not meant to stand with them. You're actually meant to stand out. And whenever time they stand out, you are not meant to stand out with them. You are meant to set the standard. So, whenever time you're rejected, no, the thing that you're carrying is so unique. It's so unique. Like me, I was rejected because whatever thing that I carry right now is so unique. The story that I have is probably unique, but then, like, that uniqueness is what makes you special. So, you don't care about the rejection. Continue doing you. Continue being you. Be you. And let God basically use you. Trust in God always. That it might be tough today, but then nothing is static. Things shift, seasons shift each and every time. And like better days are coming, brighter days are coming. And yeah, like you just keep on going through whatever thing you're going through diligently. For the scripture, the Bible says that God rewards the diligent. So you just keep on going through whatever thing you're going through diligently, and just know the situation change, things pass. Nothing is meant to be permanent. Nothing is meant to be permanent. And like, don't give up, because when you give up, it's like you've made a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So yeah, a wise man anasema never make a permanent solution based on a temporary situation. So things will pass, situations change, and to the person who's there and feels as if like life is almost like ruining, everything is going back to hell, like nothing seems to be working out. Trust in God. Just pray. Pray to God. Pray to your supreme being. And like you just sit in that position and watch God do whatever thing He will do with your broken pieces. Because after every struggle, there is always a beautiful story. So yeah, don't give up yet. Birth a beautiful story. So yeah.
Joe, thank you so much for sharing your story, your insight. It was so emotional and also a proud moment, and it shows that after every hardship comes ease. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. It's not easy opening up, especially a story like yours. It's not easy, but thank you so much for sharing your stories.
You're welcome.
To our viewers, we hope today's conversation has enlightened you, has maybe given you hope if you maybe you've lost hope in something, and yeah, Joe is a perfect example of after every hardship comes ease, and there's light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you so much for viewing. I've been your host, Astina Ibrahim, and yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Joe, for being with us here.
Thank you.
Yeah, well,
Thank you. Bye, guys.
bye.